you cannot say that out loud.
Now, this is a topic I want to talk about. I want to talk about it because it's one of those things where, like, it sounds so controversial, but why would it sound controversial when it's something that you yourself is, like, accepting? I've been small my entire life, literally my entire life. And coming from a family of Dominican and Puerto Rican people, you know that everybody, they got the booty, they got the boobies, they got the thickness, they got everything. I ain't get that. I got itty bitties of everything. So, you know, it took me a long time, literally a very long time, to accept the fact that, like, girl, you're small. You've been small your whole life, and you're probably gonna be small. I remember that, like, you know, I was talking to my doctor not that long ago, because I was like, bro, like, you know, I could gain weight, but, like, I'll gain weight, like, very, very, very slowly. Either I do gain it or I don't. And I was concerned. I was just like, listen, like, I'm trying to gain weight. I've been trying to gain weight. Like, is there something that I could do? Whatever. And he literally looked at me and he was just like, Christine, you have come to my office since you were a kid. You have always been small. You're healthy. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not underweight. You are good. Like, after you have kids, you're gonna get the weight that you want. Like, it's just gonna fill out, which is true because that's exactly what happened to my mother. My mother was small like me, and she had my brother, and after she had my brother, everything went pew, pew, pew. But it's just like, the fact that, like, if you say, like, oh yeah, I'm skinny and what, like, it's just like, oh, but you gotta eat, you gotta gain weight. Why? If I'm healthy and nothing is wrong, what is there to gain? And around this time, Lord, around the holidays, my family, especially my grandmother, and at this point, it doesn't bother me because I understand that that's just who she is as a person. I love her to death. But she always, her famous thing is, tú estás flaca, tú estás comiendo, da da da. And I'm like, ma'am, this is me. And this is who I'm gonna be. So if my body is gonna be small, it's gonna stay small. And that's just that. And I've accepted it. And that's just what it is. For everybody who used to tell me, yo, you like a stick. You need to eat something. Da-da-da. I don't care. I don't care. Because I know that I am good. And I still pull. And this may also be controversial, but to be honest, I don't think it is. Prior to, yes, the skinny girls were in. But right now, it's all about everybody, I don't know, it's kind of dying down, but it was all about, like, you got to have a BBL and you got to be thick, and if you're not, then it's just like, you're like, what you doing, you know? Fat shaming and skinny shaming go hand in hand. Like, you should not be able to tell me, oh, go eat a burger when I can't tell you, why did you swallow a whale? It's both messed up, and you should not do it.
No tea, no shade, but I know exactly what Slim Kim meant. This has come from somebody who's been skinny their whole life, been bullied for being skinny, 100 pounds soaking wet their whole life, and tried everything in the book to gain weight. I'm talking about I used to force myself to drink 3 Ensures a day until I threw up. I tried a pediment, whatever you want to call it. All the weight gain masses, the putting peanut butter in my smoothies, everything in the book, and I still can't gain weight, and I'm cool with that. I had to learn myself for just being slim as hell. So I know what she mean, but it was all about wordplay. But there's nothing wrong with self-confidence, because let's be honest, if a plus size girly came up here and said the same thing, that I love being plus size, I love my size, and I wouldn't want to wish to be anything smaller than what I am, y'all would have all been gassing her up. nobody would have been clocking her tea. But for some reason, anytime a skinny girl wants to love herself, y'all make it seem like it's an issue, like skinny girls can't get body shamed. Because I grew up hearing my whole life, why is your wrist so small? Why don't you be eating? You're borderline underweight. I've been called Slim Jim, Cinnamon Sticks, Cinnamon, Twig, you fucking name it. I feel like the only people that's getting offended is the people that don't love themselves. If the shoe don't fit, don't fucking force your big ass feet into it. Y'all could have saw the post and keep scrolling. Why are you making it about you like she was trying to hate on plus size girlies? I don't think it gave that at all, but let me shut up.
As a confident, skinny black woman, I can testify that the hate that Slim Kim is getting right now is all projection. And when I learned what projecting was, my eyes were wide open to all of the haters, to all of the envy, all of the jealousy. And it's not because of the fact that I'm a skinny black woman. It's because of my confidence. Insecure people do not like confident people, period. It actually does not matter what you look like. And those insecure people are going to project their insecurities right onto you. They do it every time. They make themselves very loud and clear. And even today, I have a very casual job during the day, and I always dress up for it. I'm like, but I'm walking a dog right now. But I always dress up for it, and it doesn't matter wherever I go. I try to make sure that I look presentable. You will not catch me in my pajamas and slippers anywhere in public. And people will always ask me, Ange, do you ever wear, do you ever dress down? Do you ever? No, because my self-worth, my baseline of that requires me to dress like this casually. That's my baseline. And people don't like that because then they have to level up themselves. And that's where the issue comes from. So this isn't just about Slim Kim. This is an epidemic of people who are struggling out there, who have zero self-awareness, who cannot support anybody else or love anybody else because they just don't love themselves. So this isn't a black girl, fat, skinny, nothing. This is a confidence issue.
My content is basketball, yet I cannot get off of Slim Kim TikTok. I don't care if y'all hoes want to be skinny. I don't care if y'all hoes want to be fat. I don't care if you like your big bags. I don't care if you like your little bags. Why am I on Slim Kim TikTok?
The collective outcry on this app when Slim Kim came out and said what most fat people know that many skinny people think is just indicative that we are not mentally prepared for the shift of conservatism that is happening in this country. The rise in body fascism, the narrowing down of what is seen as beautiful or what is seen as an acceptable way to look has been happening for some time now. If I'm being real, it started with the deer versus doe eyes versus siren eyes versus dark feminine versus all of that. It's a pipeline. Do you have cat face or deer face turned into let's turn our faces to the side and analyze the slopes of our noses like fucking eugenicists? And I think that because we are so used to seeing the alt-right pipeline as marketed towards men, it's more difficult to recognize and understand when it's being marketed towards us in beauty spaces. It is not a coincidence that all of a sudden skinny people are coming out and declaring that they love being skinny. It is not a coincidence that brands that formerly claimed to care about diversity or whatever are rolling back on their darker skin tone. People are now openly saying the R slur on social media again like it's normal. All of a sudden it's become accepted to declare on this app that you don't care about Palestinian people and their genocide. As we scroll and consume and even participate in social media, we need to be engaging in critical thought. Media literacy is dead. Can we revive it, please?
They took Slim Kim out of the Creative Fund? Upon further investigation, I will be watching my mouth. I will. I do, in fact, need the TikTok coin. I do. Yeah.
Everybody getting upset about Slim Kim making her statement about being skinny. I can understand both sides. Because on one hand, in the perfect world, you should be able to big up yourself and feel proud of yourself no matter what the fuck it is. Especially if it's something you work for. But when you start to say certain things on social media, it starts to show your social intelligence. Because when you start bragging about certain shit from your perspective and like you got other people on the other end of the spectrum listening to you, it kind of feels like, nigga, read the room. For instance, I'm 6'1". I love and appreciate being 6'1". I also wish I was 6'3", but I would never come to the internet and be like, damn, man, I wish I was 6'3". But it is dope as fuck being 6'1", though, because I know it's a 5'7" nigga on the other end of this phone. It's like, nigga, shut the fuck up. Because on one hand, I can be like, you being 5'7" is not my fucking problem. But on the other hand, I could be like, all right, let me shut the fuck up, because it feels like I'm just rubbing salt in the wound. But then it's like, you got to be proud of yourself in silence. But then it goes to another level when it's something that you actually worked for. Like, you say you didn't have no money, you was broke as hell, and now you bragging about being so happy that you got money now. Or let's say that girl used to be 300 pounds and now she got down to 150 and she just so happy she's skinny now. Of course, that's going to make you want to go, well, look, I've seen both sides and it's better over here. And of course, there's going to be people that haven't made it to where you're at yet feeling like, duh, I fucking know. Because when there's somebody bragging about being society's preferred aesthetic, of course it's going to come off assholish because everybody else in the room is like, oh, you love being light skinned? You love being an over 6 foot male? You love having blonde hair and blue eyes? You love being in shape with symmetrical features? You love being a 6-figure earner with more money than most people? Please tell us more. Whether or not you was just blessed with those attributes or you worked for it, there's still going to be people in the room like, duh, no shit. If I get on here and say I love having perfect lips, kind of expect some discolored, thin lip, bird mouth motherfucker to get on here and get upset. I'm just playing. But one of the only things that's really annoying to me about the post and everybody's reaction, we know that if a 300 plus pound woman got on here and said, oh, I love being big, I love being fat, I love my body, I don't know what I would do if I wasn't stuffing my face with everything. We know that everybody would be praising her, talking about, yes, bitch, yes, queen, eat that shit. And it just sucks how the negative gets so much praise while the positive gets shot down every fucking time. Because as soon as a woman get on here and be like, I'm single now, I'm for the streets, I'm about to go through my whole phase, I'm about to have a hot girl summer, all the girls in the comments be like, yes, bitch, throw that ass in a circle, be a hoe with me, fuck these niggas. But as soon as a girl get on here and be like, oh, I kind of like the fact that I can count my body count on one hand, the comments go crazy. Who you think you is, bitch? You think you better than us? You ain't better than nobody, bitch. So in conclusion, I think it kind of sucks that some things you just have to celebrate in private until you find your people that you can celebrate with. And on the converse side of that, sometimes you just gotta watch a motherfucker celebrate their wins until it's your turn. But that's just my 2 cents. I don't fucking know. Well, whatever.
Hello to all my friends who have met me in ED treatment or have body image issues. Let's just go ahead and clock out. This is not the video for you because we will be talking about being skinny. And that can be very triggering for a lot of my friends. So let's not go there. This is not the video for you. I will see you in one of my more fun videos. Now that that disclaimer is out of the way, you have possibly seen Slim Kim. And you have seen her video in which she says that being skinny is her personal vice and it's her favorite thing. And her favorite fear, this is the most important part, her favorite fear is gaining weight. So a lot of thin or thin aspiring people have come out since then and said this is not fat phobia. She says it's a preference. Her next video, she talks about,
once again, I am the victim of saying the wrong thing out loud on this app. And I would just like to say that my 30-second video saying that my favorite thing to be is skinny was a joke. Okay, and this is coming from someone who has had chronic cankle and fat face. Okay, I was just making fun of the fact that I figured it out. I figured out how to lose weight in my face, and I figured out how to get rid of my goddamn cankles by going to bar and Pilates 5 fucking times a week.
Yeah, so there's a lot to unpack there for her, not for me. Not for me at all. Most of this is really, like, we said the part out loud that we should have said to our therapist if we have one. We should have said to a mentor or support system, because I think she thinks the second video makes the first video better. And a lot of people who are in her comments think that it does, but it does make it work. Later on in the video, because I hadn't watched this whole video, I just cut that shit off, but later on in the video she does say that she didn't wish that she had contributed to such a toxic conversation, and she will never talk about her size again. Don't be ridiculous, don't be sardonic. You can talk about your size. The thing that people are talking about is not just what you said. If people had just took what you said and they were like, oh, this is the joke, this is fine, no big deal. However, There are thin and thin aspiring people in your comments like, oh my God, yes, I'm so afraid. I also go to the gym 16 hours a day. To which I have to let everybody know, if you are afraid of gaining weight, if you feel like you have to go to the gym or go to Pilates or bar 5 times a week to make sure that you don't gain weight in your face or your ankles, you have a body image disorder. That's just because, let me tell you, when you gain a pound, it doesn't go straight to your face. You, in your mind, think it does. You have possibly seen pictures of yourself when you've gone. She said that she went to Essence and her face was big. Let me tell you, if you traveled, that's likely the reason your face and ankles were big. People swell up when they travel. My face and ankles, I had put on shoes before I'd taken a flight, got off the flight, put on those same shoes, and my feet did not fit in the shoes that I bought for the trip. You swell up. I say this as a person who also has chronic fat face as well, if that's what you want to call it. I very much have body dysmorphia, specifically with my face and chin. That is why you often see me recording like this, because I don't like my chin. What I have fact checked multiple times in the 6 months that I was in eating disorder treatment and body image recovery is that I did not gain a pound in my face. You did not gain a pound in your face. You did not gain a pound in your ankles. In fact, you going to Pilates and bar is probably contributing more to the fact that it's reinforcing what you're thinking, because you're like, I have to keep this off by going to Pilates and bar 5 times a week. The hope is that you go to Pilates and bar because it makes you feel good. You exercise, you dance, whatever you do because it makes you feel good. If you ever go and do an exercise or some sort of treatment like that, specifically because you want to get rid of some element of yourself, you will spend your whole time fighting that thing and not get what you want. Because at any given point, you can get chronic cankles or fat face for whatever reason. You are likely doing a self-fulfilling prophecy in which you're going to Pilates and bars so much that when you're traveling now, you're going and doing some element of Pilates and bar while you're traveling, and it's getting that circulation back. So now your face and your ankles do look slimmer. It is not the actual act of Pilates and bar that is keeping the 1 pound of weight off of your face and your ankles. It is in fact the act of moving and getting your circulation going. Now, Slim Kim aside, this again has been a conversation that has been mostly taken over by thin and thin aspiring people who are not comfortable with themselves and who think fat is just looming around the corner and over their shoulders like a TikTok filter. Which, I'm going to be honest, fat, disabled are 2 states of being that anybody can become at any point in time. You can get in an accident and suddenly gain a bunch of weight. And you need to be okay with yourself if that happens. You could suddenly not be able to dance or Pilates or bar. The studio could burn down. What are you going to do then? Are you going to freak out and be like, I have to keep losing weight? That is not an okay mindset to have. That is in fact disordered. Now, there's another conversation to be had. There are people who have very, very good relationships with exercise and body image who also go to Pilates and bar 5 times a week. There are people who jog every single morning who have a perfectly fine, okay relationship with their body. But if your fear, and that's a big part, if your fear, your phobia, in fact, is fat, might need to talk to somebody about it. Me, personally, am I on a journey to lose weight? Yes. Why? Because I want to be in a strongman competition. Not because I don't think my body is good. I have very much worked, again, for 6 months to become okay with this. One of the things that I had to work on was the fact that once I start exercising, I'm like, I have to maintain this. I don't want to get a double chin. I don't want a chubby face. Da 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 da. If fat is a monster that you're running away from, I can say, after going to treatment, that monster will probably catch up to you at some point. And number 2, it shouldn't have been a monster to begin with. This was ranty. I have had multiple thoughts about this. but I don't want big people to sit there and be demonized because they're making responses to her, because what she is doing is in fact her preference, and she has a constitutional right to have a preference. I hear it. What she is projecting into the universe and what people are responding to, especially the thin aspiring community, is not okay. Not what she said, it is the response. It is the conversation that is being had surrounding the comments that she made, where people are very much out in public identifying with the fact that they're scared of fat. That is the problem, not her. She can do what she wants. Again, I must reiterate, she can do what she wants. It is everyone who is conversing and saying that this thought is okay. I had the same thought too. If I don't go to the gym 16 times a week, you guys have problems. That's it.
Okay, I wasn't gonna say anything about this whole Slim Kim and like proud to be skinny thing, but I have some input. Does everyone remember Devil's Wear Prada, the movie, Meryl Streep, Anne Hathaway, 2006, right, clap. How Andy's weight was the butt of the joke. Mind you, Andy was only a size 6, like in movie terms, and also like if we're just based visuals of the character, like Anne Hathaway's character was not fat, but her weight and her being a size 6 made her fat. Like they were fat shaming Anne Hathaway, aka Andy, her character, for being a size 6. So I believe there is some projection going on where like if somebody's proud to be skinny, that's nothing to do with me because I'm not skinny, and two, it's like somebody being proud of their body it's not gonna make me upset. However, I believe when we become ignorant to certain rhetoric that's being spread and being ignorant to the direction where this is going is where I have an issue. Because back to my original point, like I think maybe some of y'all too young to remember, but in the early 2000s, like you were fat if you were larger than a size 2. You were fat. Like, baby, like 4 through 8, baby, you're fat. You're not skinny, baby. So I think the overall arching message that I'm trying to say is like, we can have this conversation, but we have to be aware of where it's going. Like, I knew bitches were doomed when low-rise jeans came back, and I'm like, I don't think the girls know what came with low-rise jeans. I don't think they know what came with it. Ooh.
Wait, so y'all are upset because a girl got on here and told y'all what she likes for herself personally. She said, I like to be skinny. I love to be skinny. That's something I want to stay being. And y'all are upset? But let a girl get on here and say, I love being thick. I love being plus size. I love being whatever. Y'all not going to have a problem with that because she's talking about herself. Exactly like the other girl did. She was literally talking about herself. I just don't understand why everybody's upset. She never said, oh, I'm expecting everybody else in the world to be skinny. Oh, everybody else needs to be this and everybody. No, she said this is what she personally wants. Just like how you personally can be whatever size you want to be. Like, what's the confusion here? I just feel like people get on here and just look for something to be mad about. Like, literally look for something to be like, they're coming for me, they're attacking me, da-da-da-da. Babe, she wasn't talking to you. Maybe she's trying to find her community of skinny people. And be like, hey, who else is skinny? Who else understands me? Who else has the same mindset as me? Who personally feels this way? I don't understand what the problem is. She wasn't attacking anybody from what I saw. And I only saw the video. Now, she in the comments saying stuff like, making fun of people, that's different. But if she's talking about something that's personally like she wants in her life for her own self, then okay.
Yeah. You know what? Hell yeah. Yeah.
How did I end up on the side of TikTok where all the girls are talking about how being fat was the worst thing they ever was in their life? Like, I guess it's because of the whole Slim Kim situation, and they are just expressing how being fat hinders your life and hinders your money. It's just the worst thing in the world to be fat. Okay, and I am saying this as a woman who was once bigger, okay, not even curvier, bigger, and now I'm more slimmer, okay? I lost a significant amount of weight, okay? Everybody is not unhappy being fat, okay? Maybe you were unhappy being fat. Maybe you feel like you lost opportunities. Maybe you feel how you feel about you being in your fat body. But you only feel like that because now you're in a smaller body. And even the smaller body that you're in is still not considered skinny at all. And I think that that's what they're not clocking. It's still not skinny, okay? Some of them are still on that line, if not directly on the line. Okay, so just being realistic, okay? Like, it's this thing where people, and it's women, all women that ain't skinny. I just see them talking about how being fat was the worst thing ever. But it's like, ma'am, you might still be fat. Whatever.